Okay, today is Friday the 11th of July 2025 and I'm at Big Bell in Western Australia, and this is something I've wanted to come and look at for many years. This is the Big Bell Hotel, built in Art Deco style in the 1930s. Not sure what year it closed. This was the town of Big Bell. This is the most substantial structure left in it. Used to be a gold mining town. They still do mine gold here. We're about 20 kilometres from a place called Kew. And I'll just take you for a bit of a walk. Magnificent hotel. Supposedly had the longest bar in Australia at one stage. I don't know whether that's true or not, or just an urban myth, but anyway, there's a fence around it and lots of warning signs saying that it's be careful of falling stuff. So I will be very careful of falling stuff. So there's holes in the fence, of course, always is. And go inside, and this I would imagine would be the main bar here. It's a very quite a large cellar below it. Below the bar, that's towards the front of the hotel. Big fireplaces. Would have been a magnificent place back in its heyday. It's two-storey. A lot of the floorboards from the top story are gone, but I guess people over the years have come and pinched them and either burnt them or used them in their own building somewhere else. Okay, this is the side veranda. We'll just head back towards the front of the hotel. Straight across the road in front of us was where the railway line branch line from Kew used to come out of Big Bell. The station was pretty well straight across the road there. That line opened in 1936. The hotel was already built by then, so I'm not quite sure of the exact year. There's a hotel, Art Deco style, concrete or plastered covered brick veranda. This is the front of the main bar, and then these concrete columns going into the main part of the hotel. Lots of graffiti on everything for many years. Heading inside, probably another bar. This is the back of the main bar. There's another bar here. You can see that there's a cellar, or the same cellar there. And just all these more very ornate stuff done in there. You can see that the walls were all tiled, which was a feature of pretty well every Australian pub for 100 years or so. The tiles are well up the wall. Some people would say that they used to tile the walls of all the bars so that they were easy to wash the blood off after the fights. Not sure which bar's which, but there would have been a ladies' lounge somewhere here, because back in the day ladies weren't allowed in the public bar with the men drinking. That was a no-no. I'd say looking at that up there would have been where the staircase went up to the top floor, which makes sense. Yep, you can see the step there. It did a right angle turn. There would have been a landing in that corner there. And then I don't know what this sort of, just generally given the idea of most pubs, this probably would have been a dining room in here, and I would imagine that out the back through here would be kitchens and so forth, pantries, all that sort of stuff. Hard to tell. I know there's yeah, that's a good chance that was a kitchen because of the size of the fireplace. Looks like an industrial fireplace. It would have been a big double Metis stove or something like that in there. And then out the back, I would imagine would be, there's more quarters and things like that, probably for staff quarters and so forth. There's a sort of a separate building out here, which I would imagine be a manager's flat or something like that. And these little small buildings. Someone's gone a lot of trouble to paint a lot of fish on the wall there. I don't know whether that's an original thing. Doesn't look like any sort of standard graffiti, so I'd say that someone spent a bit of time in this room and said, well, I like fish, I'd like to have fish on the wall. I'll head back through. The chihuahua follows me. Hang on, I'll follow the chihuahua, that's a better idea. And just have a look in this bit here, which sort of, yeah, I'd say there's probably the manager's flat. More graffiti on the wall. And we'll probably just go back out around here. Come on, dog. Lots of rubble, lots of stuff collapsed here. Yeah, there's brick walls have been knocked down here. There's two rainwater tanks up there, which would have supplied the building. I don't know what they sat on though, because they just the legs for them, the wooden legs, just stop in mid-air. So I don't think they hold water now. And there's bits of machinery out the back here. I'm not sure whether that belongs to the hotel or not. Looking at that there, that would, to me, says that there was probably a lighting plant bolted down to that to supply power for the building. So what I'm standing on now is was a little machinery room, and quite possibly a major cooling system to keep the bar, or the beer cold. There would have been a cool room somewhere. Maybe there was one in the cellar. Very large fan there. It does, and one of those. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, doesn't matter. And so this is looking back up. The main bar is to my right, and the servants' quarters, or the servants' quarters, the working quarters are off to the left. I would think. And then the top floor of this, I would imagine, I'm not going to go up there. The stairs are long gone. There is a couple of steps up there, but I don't think I'm agile enough to climb up that. But the top floor would have been entirely, I would imagine, accommodation rooms, not very large. There probably would have been a lounge up there, like a reading room or something like that. No TV when they built this place. The pub. And that's going to be about the end of the tour, I think. So we're back into one of the little rooms off the main bar, and there's the cellar in front of us. We'll go down and have a look in the cellar. Whenever I'm walking, I'm looking up above to make sure that there's nothing going to drop on my head. And make sure the chihuahua doesn't fall in the cellar. You can see there's a big fireplace up the end of the bar there, and I think there's another one around in the corner. Yep, on the main bar. So that is a big, long main bar. Don't know whether it's the longest in Australia. That sort of doesn't sound quite right to me, because I reckon I've been in pubs with longer bars than this, and I've been in a lot of pubs. Anyway, there's even a couple of the tiles, a few of the tiles still on the walls over there. All right, I'll go back outside. I've pretty well shown you the excitement of the Big Bell pub Just looking around out here in the distance, there's a water tank sticking up, which would have been to give water pressure for the whole town. There's another building in the distance over there, which I don't know what it is, but it's a concrete block construction. And then that's it. That's about the most substantial stuff. A couple of other places there's a few bits that stick up, but there's a lot of rubble lying around, like just about every other ghost town in Australia. Very interesting. All right, hope you enjoyed that.